Nature. Okay, so in the house we got Lenka Daisy. What's up, Lenka? How are you?
Hello, I'm really well. How are you?
Is this your first time on radio?
It is actually, yeah.
How do you feel?
You can imagine how I feel. When was your first time?
My first time on radio?
Yeah.
Well, that was a while ago. I was very young. My first time on radio was about 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. I was on a religious
Oh, you were
station.
very young back then.
Oh, I was, yeah.
About my age.
I was about your age then. Do you know what? You're here to talk about law of attraction, but
That's
listen,
right.
first of all, where are you from?
I'm from Slovakia.
And how long have you been in England?
I've been here for just over 8 years.
8 years. And
Yes.
why did you come to England initially?
Because I dreamt about it.
Really?
Yeah.
You dreamt about coming to England?
Yeah, I had a dream when I was little.
Yeah.
And my dream was to live abroad, and I always wanted to live in England because for me it's a very interesting place, very spiritual and very historic as well. So that's where I wanted to live.
And was it a fashion thing as well?
No,
No.
it wasn't, because it wasn't easy to come here.
It wasn't easy for you guys to come here?
No,
No?
no,
No.
because we were not part of the EU before, and so people didn't just, you couldn't just buy a ticket and come here and live here and have a job. So
Did you have friends here when you came?
I had one friend.
One friend?
Who is not here anymore.
And did you come straight to Bournemouth, or where did you go?
Yeah, I came straight to Bournemouth, and I was so lucky that he was in Bournemouth because it's by the beach and it's the best place to live.
Okay, so breaking it, I'm going to play a song in a second, but listen, and we'll talk more about this. But so you came to England, but so did you visualise yourself in England? Because you're talking about the whole visualising thing.
Yeah, especially when I was very little. I was at school and I started learning English. I was about 10,
Yeah.
and we were learning about all the places like Stonehenge, Big Ben, all these big places. And I just saw myself there. I saw visiting these places, and I saw myself living there, and that's what happened. So I followed my dream.
And so how does that work? So you didn't ever doubt that you were going to come to England?
No, never.
There was never a doubt?
Never.
And have you seen that on other scales as well, with other things happening, saying, I'm
Yeah,
going to do this, and suddenly things will just come together, and it just happens?
It just happened, yeah. Basically, the big ones for me in my life was that since I remember, I was probably 4 or 5, I always wanted to go to university. And my parents never went to university, my older brother never did, but I just knew that I was going, and I did.
You
I did
did?
a master's degree, finished when I was 23.
Do you know what? A few of my listeners, actually, I worked with Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida.
There you
Now,
go,
yeah.
I know, you told me that.
Yeah, and when I was 12, I was going round Epcot Centre in Orlando, and I was with my mum and dad at the time. And I remember I wasn't really paying attention to the fireworks that were going on and stuff like that. And it was interesting because my mum kept going, "You've got to pay attention, look, this is a one-off." And I said, "I'm going to work here. I'm going to work here, it's cool." At 12. So sometimes with the whole law of attraction thing, and I ended up working there when I was 22 for a whole year. But what's interesting is I didn't doubt it. It was just going to happen.
That's how it
And
works.
sometimes when we start doubting, you can see that that's when there's a problem. Would you believe that?
Yeah, definitely. If you have doubts, then it's all kind of falling apart. You're doubting yourself. You don't have a clear focus.
Right. Listen, I'm going to play a song right now. 30 years ago today, this song was originally released. This is for my good friend Stuart McLennan, listening in Scotland. And I thought I'd change it up a little bit. You wanted the John Bon Jovi Living on a Prayer, but I've got the acoustic version. This is Living on a Prayer. 30 years ago today, this came out first.
You can pause that.
I love the Beatles. Octopus's Garden. Now, I have a very special guest in the house. Her name is Lenka Daisy. What's up? What's up, Lenka? They like you. Listen to that. Listen to that. They like you. They're all lining up outside the Allendale Centre in Wimborne. Okay, so we're talking about the law of attraction, positivity, all that jazz. Have you seen The Secret?
I have. And I read the book first.
You read the book first. And is it a much difference between seeing the movie and reading the book?
Yes, it always is. Because when you read the book, it's left to your own imagination. Whereas when you watch the movie, it's kind of people talking about the experiences. So you just put a face to the voice, really, if it makes sense.
So you think the movie was less powerful than the
No,
book?
it's very, very powerful.
But do you think it's less powerful than the book?
I think the book is more personal to me.
Right.
Because I can relate what's written in the book to my life and to my situation.
Okay. No, some people say, and this is what I find fascinating, is some people see The Secret and they just go, because there's usually three different reactions to it. One reaction is sometimes they say, what load of rubbish, there is that.
Yeah.
No, there's some people that will say, what load of rubbish. There's some people that say, wow, my life has changed, this is fantastic. And there's some people that say, actually, I've always subscribed to that way of thinking, but I didn't know it was a specific way of thinking. And I think sometimes as a child, I get back to what we said earlier, when you're a child, you do actually do that innocently and think, I'm going to do this. Sometimes a lot of rock stars, they're younger, they've just decided they're going to make it big, and they just do.
But kids always do it, because nobody tells you can't.
No one tells you can't.
As you're older.
So this leads me to a question from a guy called Shane Warren, and he's listening in Verwood. And he says, is it ever too late to change your mindset? Because a lot of it obviously is that you've got a mindset from a young age, I'm not allowed to be that successful. I'm not allowed to do this. Is there ever a point, maybe, even if you're like 55, 60, that you can say, actually, I am going to be successful?
No, it's never too late. And I always say it's never too late to change. You just need to decide that you want to do it. If you know Bob Proctor, and you followed him as well.
Well, Bob Proctor is in the film The Secret.
Yeah, he's one of the creators of the movie, and obviously he's in the book as well. And he was in his 40s, I believe, when he came across The Secret. So if he could change, and he basically turned his life completely around.
Yeah. I mean, completely.
Because he was in the job he didn't enjoy, and he wasn't making as much money as he wanted, and he just switched. He was like, okay, I'm going to do what I actually want to do, and I'm going to follow my dream. And he did, and he's made loads of money.
So you could say sometimes people have a barrier up that doesn't even exist, but there's one that's been put there almost mentally saying, you're not allowed to be healthier, you're not allowed to be financially more secure, you're not allowed to be more successful. Do you believe, and then sometimes you can suddenly just remove that barrier completely?
I think there's two things. One is that you are told things since you are a child that you believe. You start believing the things even though it's not true. Someone could tell you, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, because they want you to behave a certain way, but there's no such a thing. If you want to do it, you're just going to do it. So a lot of people just live their whole life still believing. It's called paradigm because it's set like deep inside your subconscious mind. So they just live their whole life believing, I'm not good enough, I'm not worth having this or that, because I was always told this, and that's the way I was brought up. But you just need to change your thinking. You just need to change the paradigm. It's a complete shift. It's not just changing the thinking on a daily basis, saying, oh, it's a beautiful day, or I love myself. You have to completely shift.
So is it sometimes as simple as somebody might have been told all the time as a kid, oh, you're so ugly. Oh, you're so ugly. And then they grow up and they might be the most beautiful child in the world.
You don't want to know the things I was told when I was a child.
I'm sure you weren't told you were ugly.
I was told I couldn't be on the TV. And there you go, I'm on the radio. It's one step.
Yeah, you're not on the TV yet. But you could be. You could definitely be on television. But you sort of are, because you're on YouTube, which is borderline television, isn't it? It's visual. It's visual media. I find it fascinating that you're nervous to be here today. You don't sound nervous, by the way. But that you're nervous to be on radio, but yet you do all these YouTube vlogs. What's the difference?
Just all the people listening in at the same time.
Yeah, but people are watching you. And I suppose on YouTube you can do it again, can't you? It's not live.
Yeah, kind of. But I kind of try to do my videos like the first time, because I'm like very spontaneous. I'm like, okay, I've got 5 minutes, I'm just going to do the video and put it up.
I usually do about 3. When I do a video, I do about 3, and I usually choose the first one.
We did them together.
We did one together last week, didn't we? I've just got a message in from a good friend of mine, actually, and he's in San Diego, California. Hello, Tim McGillis. I miss you, mate. Most of us have established a certain type of vibration. Now, he's got a thing, and it's brilliant. If you can subscribe to his Facebook channel, he's absolutely brilliant. He does a thing called Dr. Fun. He's mad. Tim, you are mad. He does these songs every day, these songs just out of the blue, just going, I'm positive, today is a very good day and I'm positive. But he, and I actually lived with this guy when I was living in Los Angeles, but he says most of us have established a certain type of vibration from our upbringing, our culture, and our way of living that makes our life seem very consistent from day to day. In order to live a life that, hang on, let me read that more. In order to live a certain way, you sometimes have to break through what you might have been told as a child. And that's pretty much what you were
yeah.
just saying. But I mean, that can work the opposite way too. That sometimes as a child you might have been told you're absolutely sensational and you're awesome, and yet for some reason, I remember there was a kid in my school, I'm not going to say his name, and he generally wasn't that good at, but he got the lead role in the play because he was so spoiled and told he was awesome all the time that he generally believed he was that awesome. And I remember him getting the lead in the play and me being really annoyed on the side going, that's not fair. He doesn't deserve the lead role. But either way, thank you, Tim. I very much appreciate that. We're going to play a song right now. This is Maroon 5 and Sugar. We'll have more from Lenka in a bit. That's a nice song. Okay, I'm in the studio with Lenka Daisy, YouTuber and Instagrammer. Which one's more busy?
Instagram.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love it.
Would you see it as the future?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah? Do you
I visualize it.
You visualize it, but on a serious note, what do you actually see as, but that is serious, but what do you see as the new up and coming medium? Do you see it still remaining Facebook? Do you see it remaining Instagram? Or do you see YouTube growing and growing? But I actually think in a weird way, YouTube's already slipping behind
It's
from
a little bit not old fashioned, but for me, I always knew about YouTube for years and years.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm actually quite new to all this, you know.
How long have you been doing the
new.
videos?
Like Instagram, I started using in July, the end of July.
Oh.
And the videos I started in August when I was doing my 22 press up challenge. That was annoying people with doing press ups everywhere in the world.
But you were constantly nominating other people to do it.
I was nominating other people, and it was great to see how it followed, you know. Somebody nominated someone else, and I was like, yeah, I nominated this person before.
Okay, so but do you see Instagram being the big one? That's the new big one, or?
I think Instagram is quite new, so to me, it's definitely new, and it's a lot newer than YouTube. So I think, yeah, I'm still sort of.
It's better at the one-to-one basis, isn't it? As the personal. I think YouTube is awesome still for shows. Like you can have a YouTube show, your music videos and stuff like that. But I think somehow for Facebook and Instagram, it is becoming more personal. So when someone's actually
Instagram,
doing a message, yeah.
And especially because obviously my videos are quite to the point and quite short, so Instagram is perfect for me. But I will put more videos on YouTube and make them obviously longer and talk more about a certain topic.
Yeah. Just had a question in. Didn't get a name though. But can you tell the difference? And I mean, you've kind of said this before, but can you tell the difference between negativity and positivity quite quickly? When, if you have just tuned in, we're talking about the law of attraction, folks. So we're talking about, just putting things out. When you can truly visualize something and believe that you deserve it and that you can do it. Can you tell when someone just doesn't do that? That's it. For instance, one of my favourite sayings that I hear, my least favourite not saying is that sometimes you hear people constantly go, oh, I just want to make it to the end of the week. Oh, I just want to... Yeah. And you know what? They always do. They always make it to the end of the week.
Because that's the goal.
Yeah,
that's as far as they can see.
That's all as far as they can say, I just want to get down the pub and have a pint and then make it to the end of the week. But then sometimes you hear other people going, yeah, this is really exciting. This is an exciting week.
Okay, Yeah, you can tell really quickly just by asking them, how are you? So you get people when they say, and it's constantly, I feel great, it's a great day, I'm having a really good time. But then you get people, and they're in the positive vibrations, yeah? So, and then you get people when you just ask them, how are you? And they're like, it's a horrible day, or had a, bad customer, or bad phone call or something. But they're in the negative vibration, so what you think, that's what you attract. So you need to change your thinking. Bad things will happen all the time. Bad things happen to me, and people still ask me, they wouldn't know, like I had some bad news in the morning, and I meet them later on, and they're like, oh, you have some bad news, but you don't look like that. No, because I changed my thoughts, and I put myself in the right mindset, and I attract more, I get into the positive energy, and I attract more positive energy. And
I do see, there's a lot of celebrities that subscribe to this, where they're talking about they grew up. Well, Jay-Z is a perfect example. He grew up in the ghetto in New York City, and he said his whole time while he was there, he wasn't really there because he was thinking and imagining he knew where he was going, despite his uncle even saying to him, "You've got no hope." And he loved his uncle to bits, but his uncle kept saying, "No, you've got no hope." So he would sit there and visualize even more. But I watched a movie the other day called Rush. And what I found fascinating, they weren't even trying to preach any of the law of attraction or anything in there, but it was about a Formula One racing driver called James Hunt, and he was really, really big, and he wanted to be the world champion just once. He wanted to do it, but they showed him actually on the floor at one bit where he was driving.
Okay.
But just looking to the ceiling and driving and playing. But he was having a beer at the same time. You could see, but that wasn't a point they were trying to make in the movie. But it was very clear that he believed that much in himself. And he used to go drinking and he was smoking, and then he would go and win a Grand Prix the next day because he was just so sure of what he was doing. So what's your big plan, Lenka? Where are you going to go? What's your big goal next? Or you want to tell me about that afterwards? Okay, this is Alan Turner. This is the Feel Good Show on Radio Wimborne. And if you have just tuned in, well, you've tuned in 10 minutes before the end of the show, so you pretty much missed it, I'm afraid. But don't worry. My friend Lenka Daisy's here, and she's a very interesting girl from Slovakia that's very into the law of attraction and very much into positive thinking and motivational. And she's got a YouTube show, Instagrammer, and she's still here. How are you, Lenka?
I'm really well, thank you.
Have you enjoyed your experience on radio?
I'm loving it.
You are?
Yeah.
Is it good? What do you prefer, doing the
I'm
YouTube?
going to come back.
Are you?
You're going to get rid of me.
Are you speaking that into existence right now? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Maybe not on this show.
I'm creating my dream.
Maybe you will be back on this show. What is your dream? What do you actually want to be?
I want to be a motivational coach.
Okay.
I want to motivate people.
So you're already doing it?
Well, I am, but I'm not doing it as a business yet. So I want to do it eventually as, my full-time job that I will enjoy. That will be, my passion.
And you will do it, and whether it be from YouTube,
like you,
Instagram.
You love your job. It's your passion. What you're doing. So
it is.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I'm very, very fortunate that my job is also my hobby and my passion, as it were. Doesn't mean I don't want so much more, though, Lenka. I still,
go for it.
Yeah, I am. I do every single day. Every single day, I want so much more, but I'm also grateful for what I have. How important is gratitude?
And that is so important. I was going to say gratitude. Be grateful for things. Because a lot of people, especially the ones that are not working with their energy very well, they don't realize what they've got.
Right.
They just want more, or they just they're really miserable because they feel their life is horrible and they haven't got anything or nobody likes them. That's not true, You have to be grateful for the little things that you have, and the big things will happen. So, every day I wake up and I say to myself, it's a beautiful day. I'm grateful that I woke up today.
Did you think that today?
I did.
The weather was pretty abysmal today, so if you did that today, that's pretty positive.
To be honest, I was like, wow, after my exam and studies, I thought I was not going to wake up, so I was grateful I did.
I actually love this weather. I lived in hot countries for 12 years, and the one thing that doesn't bug me at all is English autumn. I actually and English winter in general, I really, genuinely really like it. But do you like it? Do you like this weather as well?
Yeah, I do.
You do? You've decided you do. You do. Even if you don't, you do.
I love sunny weather, but I don't mind it. I love it.
Is gratitude as important as the visualization? Do you think? Are the two equal?
I would say, in my opinion, the gratitude comes first, because when you are grateful for things, I was reading somewhere 2 days ago that actually the gratitude is one of the highest frequencies you can be on, like the vibrations. So you will attract really positive things into your life. So once you've got the gratitude and you are in it, you are tuned in and you are in harmony with yourself. And, you're not just saying it, actually feeling it. You need to be connected with your feelings. Then you will be in the positive vibrations and you can start creating and visualizing. That's my opinion.
That's good. Whereas someone that's just going, I hate this, it's rubbish, it's all rubbish, you become almost a bit of a rubbish magnet.
Yeah, and you will attract
more and more
rubbish people.
Rubbish people that will also moan around you. And we all know them, don't we? They're not bad people. They're not people they're not bad people in their heart, but a lot of the time you sit with them for 2 minutes and you're just like,
no energy.
And do you know what? There's no doubt that I've been that person at times, and I've been also the positive person.
Definitely.
And you can tell, but it is making a choice every day, right?
Yeah. Well, that's how we met, isn't it?
To a certain degree. Our friend Vanessa, she invited me to an art exhibition last week. Hello, Vanessa, and it was awesome. But I met you there, and suddenly we got talking about this, and now you're here.
Yeah, and you invited me here to the same day, didn't you? Because you could feel the energy, I believe.
Yeah, I felt the energy, Lenka. Yeah, I felt the energy. Another quick question from, this is Mr. Paul Nippard. Say hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
There you go. He said, what's the difference between dreams and visualization? So could you have a dream about something, and is that is that in essence what's going to be happening? So you could have a bad dream. Does that mean bad things are going to happen?
You mean dream when you're sleeping?
Yeah, but But that's a good question, isn't it? Because that's a form of
It's
visualization.
definitely not the same thing because I get all sorts of dreams.
Do you?
Yeah, and basically, it happens to you. Like it happens to me a lot. I dream of someone, and that person will come into my life the next day, or contact me, or like gets in touch with me. So that's what happens. But I don't believe exactly what you're dreaming will happen. So the visualization is more about you actually tuning in with a picture of what you want to have, or what you want to achieve, or the person you want to be.
So you're more in control of the visualization.
Definitely, yeah.
So whereas
You take control of your thoughts, and you can use all the imagination you have. So you just need to imagine what you want to have and just clearly see. But you have to. It's not just okay. I see it now. You have to keep doing it. It's like an exercise.
yeah.
Because you've done it.
I've done it. I've done it. But do you believe that sometimes dreams are giving you a warning? That could give you a warning for something that's happening?
Because I believe, like animals can feel the storm is coming. We can feel it as well, but some people don't take notice of it. But I've been working with my energy quite a lot this year, and I can feel when the things are going to happen. Especially women, yeah, the intuition. Like,
Are you saying women's intuition is
no,
better
but
than
women's
men's?
intuition is quite strong, but you have to know how to acknowledge it and how to recognize it. But like I don't know if it happened to you, but once I remember I was in the shower and I just had this really bad feeling and I couldn't recognize what it was. And that day I actually had a traffic accident.
So it's almost like you were getting...
So I was like, oh my God, that was the feeling I had in the shower. It was like awful. So now
But you didn't visualize that traffic accident?
No, but I could feel it was coming. Or sometimes I can feel something's bad is coming, but I can't quite recognize what it is. So then I try to work with my energy and put myself into the positive mindset. So, I don't know, you kind of not prepare yourself, but you're not as shocked when it happens. Does it make sense?
Yeah, because the other thing about this is you might be visualizing. The other thing that's really important to state as well, because Jordan Belfort, one of my favourite motivational speakers, he actually slams The Secret like crazy, but he was the Wolf of Wall Street. Have you seen The Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's a real story.
Yeah, it's a real story, and the guy is now the guy is now very much a motivational Tony Robbins type character. But he talked about, well, you can sit there and visualize, but if you're not going to go out and take action, that's no use either, is it? How important is it that you're taking action? You just checked your phone, didn't you?
Because I had actually a message from my friend.
Yeah, switch your phone off. You're on radio for 4 more minutes. Come on.
No, basically, I was going to say you can do whatever you want. You can tell yourself what you want, but the universe will not hear your words.
Okay.
You need to really feel it. And then, obviously, you need to take action. But I would say most important is the gratitude. And then you can ask yourself, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but you ask yourself questions, but don't expect answers. And you keep asking the same question, okay, is this the right thing for me? But then one day, something will happen that will show you it is the right thing for you.
Or not.
So you will, or not, you will get the answer one day. But you have to be really patient, because you just need to see what you want to achieve. You might not know what actions to take, but on the journey you will figure it out.
Someone in Scotland just wrote in, I had a dream that someone took ages to order a burger, and when I woke up I was angry as I never got my burger. Yeah.
I woke up sad the other day because I had a really strange dream. I was like, oh, glad it was a dream.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you very much for that. But anyway, that was Stuart McLennan. And just finishing off quickly, and thank you very much for coming on the show, by the way.
I'm so grateful.
Yeah, but once again, it is important to take action with all this, isn't it? It's not just a case that you visualise and then just go, that's it, then I've visualised and we can go back to bed now.
No, but you really need to be connected with your dream. You know, like when you something wants so bad that if, I don't know, someone gives it to you now, you start crying. Because you're so connected with that goal.
Yeah.
So you just do anything to achieve it.
Okay.
You will. And you know, a lot of people are like, okay, but how do I do this? You don't worry how you do it, because you've got the worries, you've got the doubts about yourself. You need to just believe that you will do it.
So irrespectful of what negativity might be coming your way, so you might be going for something really big. But Jim Carrey talks about it because he's a big visualizer.
Yeah,
and
he wrote a check for himself and he got it.
He did. He wrote a check for $10 million.
Something like that.
And he was living in his car at the time.
He had nothing.
And
pretty
he
much.
dated it for Thanksgiving, and suddenly, 2 years later, he got Thanksgiving, and that was when he just signed a deal to do Dumb and Dumber. Brilliant story, absolutely brilliant story. But he didn't lose faith. But he did say also, you've got to be somewhat open to the answers. So you might be putting it out there that you want this. You might be putting out there you want a Range Rover, but you might get a Land Rover. They're pretty similar.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty similar.
But sometimes you visualize exactly one thing and you will get exactly that thing because you are so connected with it and you just visualize every little detail about it and that's what happens. But it depends how strong your imagination is.
Okay, well, listen, Lenka Daisy, thank you very much for coming on the show.
One more
Follow,
thing.
yeah, what do you want to say? Go on.
My friend Tracy says that she loves me and I have to say it on the radio. I love you too.
Yes, Tracy, we all love you, we love you. Okay, God bless, thank you so much for coming on the show, Lenka.
Thank you.
See you soon.
See ya. Oh my god.
You're the longest interview ever.
Really?
Yeah, you talk more than everybody. So don't think for a second. She spent so
did
long
you
going, I don't think I'm gonna know what to
Why
say.
did you stop me? I
Because
was
it was
waiting
fine.
for the sign. I was like,
She
oh my
didn't
god.
need to be stopped, it was good. It was all working. It was all working.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, no, it was all good. It was all good. Yeah. She did well.
So how was your first
She was
radio?
like, oh my god, I love it.
Like, how was your first radio interview?
Amazing.
Yeah?
I'm honestly, like, I'm so happy. I'm beyond
And
happy.
And you invited yourself back, didn't you?
Well,
Yeah.
snuck it
She
in.
did actually. She did. No, she said I'm coming back to radio. Didn't mean this
Oh,
one.
okay, right, yeah.
I said then, you
But
want
I
to be
said
with
this
me.
one. No, you can come back and tell me like, just not next week. Or the week after.
Then you forget coming.
It's okay, thanks, Lenka.
No. You can
You're
come
lucky
back.
because I got college on Tuesdays. Otherwise I'd be outside.
Right, cool.
Right, and cut.